always had a feel of a big game matchup, but there's been a lot of turnaround at Spurs. Manchester United probably coming in as the favourites. That's our live game today, coming up next. Well, cutting into Spurs versus Manchester United, it was always considered one of the bigger fixtures in yesteryear times, but most recently it has been Manchester United that have been the overhauled squad, to be fair. But now you have to feel that Manchester United are kind of the favourites today. We all remember the January transfer window that ended up being an absolute disaster for Mauricio Pochettino, offloading about 3 or 4 of his players in the space of a couple of weeks, and then obviously losing Christian Eriksen to Manchester City in the summer window. And you have to wonder how much input has Mauricio Pochettino got with this squad, and will that fuel the fire to the rumours that he could be joining Manchester United in the near future? Well, today he's all about Spurs. Lloris does start in goal. Sarr, Sanchez, Onderveld and Walker-Peters are starting today. That's with the turnaround of Spurs. You probably understand why someone like him would be starting. Dembele is with Eric Dyer, and Vida's with Ali and Son. And another player that hasn't left, probably fortunately for them, Harry Kane, is up front. Gregg Popovich clearly has the Liverpool game in mind, but David De Gea does start in goal. Lindelof is with Bayern, Excel, Tuanzebe. It's the traditional formation for Coach Pop today. Zaha is with Fred, Lingard, McTominay and Tahir Chong. Up front is Alexander Isak and Joshua Mbuai, who have been two players that have not really fired on all cylinders so far. Sadly happened for Gregg Popovich. With the cross. It's going to be interesting to see how Isak and Mbuai perform today. They've been two of the missing men at Manchester United, really. Mbuai came in with a few expectations, but hasn't really lived up to it. He did score that goal in the Champions League in the group stages, however. Bailly is somewhat forward. And here's Isak. He's just not finding it. Isak having so many chances. Again, it's wide. We don't really know if it's a confidence issue with him. But he's just not been firing on all cylinders since he joined in the summer from Borussia Dortmund. But Manchester United certainly going in as the favourites, considering the situation at Spurs at the moment. Jesse Lingard. It's going forward to Isak. It's a good save by Lloris. And Peters just about getting it out. Wide with the ball over the top to Wilfried Zaha. And now is Fred. And now Isak. Isak again. And again he's wide. Isak is just not feeling it at the moment. Oh, he's scuffed that one as well. Alexander Isak is just not finding his feet at Manchester United. And there's been a lot of criticism around him and Boy recently. The games they've played, they've just not shown up. But Kane and Ali haven't really been as effective. And I think that's helped Manchester United in this first half. Well, it's not been the spectacle of football that you would expect to see from a Manchester United side. But I think with the Liverpool game in mind, I think Gregg Popovich will definitely take a point from this. But he has to consider the chasing pack. United need to get somewhere, but Alexander Isak is struggling again. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0. It is a 0-0 draw, and that is about it. There have been half chances on both sides of the coin. Isak, saved by Lloris. And Lloris has had a good game, to be fair. Isak. Wide to Zaha. Zaha in the box. Is that a penalty? No, it's not. The referee has waved it away. I believe that might be a penalty. Oh, Isak, what a touch. He's held off them with the strength. And Lloris has gathered that really well. And the next fixtures for Spurs will be away at Burnley in a few days' time. There is a few days rest for players before the next game. And we will confirm that matchup for you. It is at Old Trafford. It is round 3 of the biggest match in the English game, as Manchester United will take on Liverpool. And you can guarantee that Gregg Popovich is probably preparing another versus Liverpool masterclass win, because he has beaten Liverpool on all occasions so far. But the ones that Jose Mourinho had signed in Nemanja Matic and Romelu Lukaku all moved elsewhere, and it doesn't seem to have hurt United at all, even though Isak has had another chance to go begging into the arms of the race. To Peters. Dyer. Oh, tackled there by Fred. He's going to go into the book. It was mistimed. And it's a deserved booking. That's a late challenge. I think he was going for the ball, but the ball was a long way after that. As Eric Dyer is coming off for Tigres. I think he was signing for Tottenham in the January window, if I remember. Such as Alex Hunter, Danny Williams, Martial Rashford. Isak. He's found Wilfried Zaha. 3 points for Manchester United so far. It's a good goal. Wilfried Zaha puts Manchester United in front. I said 3 points. I'm a bit jumping the gun a little bit. We still have another 20 minutes to play. But United do have a lead. That is correct. It's a wonderfully taken goal by Wilfried Zaha. And finally something as they finally broke Spurs down. It's a good goal. Lloris is unlucky. It came just short of him. Good goal by Wilfried Zaha. And good goal work there by Manchester United. And it looks like Tahiyev Chong will be making way for Andreas Pereira. 3 goals in the league for Zaha. He's definitely having a good return on his career to Old Trafford, and it seems to have really taken off now, as is this man, Andreas Pereira, who's come on in place of Tahiyev Chong. Spurs 0, Manchester United 1. This could be a vital 3 points if Manchester United can earn them, of course. Dembele, Zaha, Visa, Kane, Ali. Back to Kane, off the post. And that is the best move Tottenham have performed all game. And they just fall short of scoring. Harry Kane hits the post. And then they want Gregg Popovich to leave. And who can blame them? He has turned this team around. Oh, Isak, it's beautiful. He's kept the ball. Oh boy, back into Isak. He's hit the post. And it is just not going right for Alexander Isak at the moment. He's hit the post. He just cannot get a goal in the league. Alexander Isak is continuing to struggle. And here comes Spurs with Ali. Peters. Here's Son. Son with the ball in. And Jesse Lingard with a rather acrobatic clearance. Onderveld takes a punt. And he's back now out of the box. And back comes Spurs with Wanyama. And let's not forget that Spurs did virtually no spending in both windows either. Which means Mauricio Pochettino does believe in the squad he has. And considering... Oh, good save by De Gea from Harry Kane. Considering the spending that United have done, then moving on certain players like Memphis, maybe Manchester United need an air of stability manager like Mauricio Pochettino, but Gregg Popovich has not spent the cash himself. And the cash he has spent. Oh, and a great goal there by Trangarius. It's 1-0 in the box. A real Poacher's goal there. And again, David De Gea is beaten. They just cannot keep a clean sheet, Manchester United. Well, it's another short corner. It seems to be United's Achilles heel. But no one picked up Trangarius. And, well, that's poor defending from United, to be honest. It's probably a little unlucky. I think Fred went for it and just came up short. Oh, it's a valiant point for Pochettino, and Trangarius has put Spurs level with his first goal. He's joined the club in the January window, I believe. We have 5 minutes to go, and this could be an early one for both sides. Spurs 1, United 1. Spurs back in this, and United back where they started. It's been a scrappy game for them, by all accounts. There's still a bit of time left to get another one. Zaha. And Alexander Isak, it's just not falling for him. Headed by Jesse Lingard out for a corner. Fred. Martial. Wilfried Zaha. Crosses it in. Oh, it's banged in by Andreas Pereira. 2-1 to Manchester United. Injury time winner. I did not see that coming. Andreas Pereira has banged it in the man who has been on the fringes of the squad for so long. Wilfried Zaha, beautiful cross here. Lloris absolutely nowhere. Number 14 here for Tottenham. He does well to try and get in position. It's Visa. But he misses the shot by Pereira as he bangs it in. And this could be a vital 3 points. The first goal in the league for Pereira. He's been in the squad on a more regular occasion than he ever has. And now he's finally got a goal for Gregg Popovich. We said at the start of the season that we'll be hoping that he's on the team sheet more often this season. And maybe that could be the start of why. Another 3 points for Manchester United after a few drop some points in the league. That'll give them some breathing space. We'll need to know what happened to Chelsea. Manchester City, last we heard tonight, were winning by a goal to nil against West Ham, but their title challenge could be over. But as for Manchester United, 3 points that are absolutely crucial. It looked like being won. Wilfried Zaha put United ahead, and then Torgirius gave Tottenham a lifeline. But at injury time, like Fergie time, it's now Popovich time, and Andreas Pereira got the winner. Spurs 1, Manchester United 2, with a crucial 3 points. So in the only match that coincided with our coverage today, Manchester City won at West Ham by a goal to nil. Let's see what that means for the Premier League table. Well, there's not much change. Manchester United now ahead by 5 points. But Chelsea still now have a game in hand, as do Everton over them. Spurs still sitting in the top 4, have solidified that position despite their loss at Manchester United today. They are equal games with Burnley, so I guess there was no real change there. Manchester City have climbed the table somewhat. They're now on 45 points, but as we said, now they're sitting 11 points behind Manchester United. Is their title challenge over with their mid-season slump? Liverpool in 7th and 5 points behind City going into their huge clash at Old Trafford against Manchester United. That's my apologies, I'm pressing the wrong button. Wolves in 8th place, followed by Arsenal. Wolves in 8th, that's such a valiant effort, followed by Arsenal in 9th. And West Ham, despite their loss at City, completing the top 10. They were 5 points clear of Leicester City. Anyway, Southampton 12th. There's quite some big gaps in this season's Premier League table looking at it. Brighton 13th with Bournemouth, Palace, Watford and Huddersfield completing the safety zone. In the relegation zone, Newcastle United are down there with Fulham and Cardiff. I don't think there is any real changes there. Huddersfield now have a game in hand over the relegation places. And Cardiff look to be stuck down there as their season continues to really plummet, unfortunately. In what could be a very pivotal moment in this season's title race, it's round 3 of the biggest matchup in the English game. Manchester United have had the beating of Liverpool all season, but what will happen this time? We're going to find out live next. Well, it's fair to say that Gregg Popovich has had the beating of Jurgen Klopp this season after winning the first Premier League matchup by 4 goals to nil and then eliminating them from the FA Cup by 3 goals to 1, I believe it was. Manchester United have certainly had the beating of Liverpool this season. There's been almost no doubt about that. And it could be on their way to a 21st title. As you can see, they've lost the game in hand over Chelsea, but they are 5 points clear. If Gregg Popovich can pull out another win today, then he might just be on for the title. Manchester United's scoring has been the most documented thing about Gregg Popovich's teams all season long, so far ahead in the scoring chart there, as you saw. Manchester United have been red hot offensively, but defence is still a problem. And Liverpool will be looking to exploit that, but even if they do, and they do manage to get a goal today, it's almost a guarantee that Manchester United will just go ahead and score more. And that was certainly the case in the first matchup between these two, where the Anfield crowd even booed their own team. It was fair to say that that matchup was a bit of a farce. Manchester United, Gregg Popovich's team today. David De Gea is in goal with Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Wilfried Jackson in front of him. It's a 4-man defence today, meaning there's a 3-man midfield of Pogba, Aaron Himbert and Marcus Rashford. Piera is with Martial and Jesse Zardes. Jurgen Klopp's team, Alisson of course in goal, battle with the 2 considered best goalkeepers in the league. Roberto is with Matic, Van Dijk and Robertson in the defence. Ronaldo is with Fabinho and Keita. It's a front three for them as well. Rodrigo goes actually up front with Salah and Sadio Mane. Manchester United looking for a kind of clean sweep against Liverpool this season. It's been quite the story that they've mostly done that. And Gregg Popovich is looking for a sweep of one of the traditional top four. He's had the beating of a lot of the top four this season. Unai Emery's team is probably the only one who managed to get something against him. Oh my goodness, a good ball! Oh, early goal for Liverpool! Early goal for Liverpool! And that's Sadio Mane, and Manchester United, for the first time this season, starting the game really cold. What happened there? Well, there seemed to be a whole mix-up in the defence. Salah, great pass. A hint of offside maybe against Sadio Mane, but I think it's Wilfred Jackson that plays him on. And Manchester United probably not even taking their positions before Liverpool decided to start the game quickly. Maybe that's a good idea by Jurgen Klopp's team, to start quickly and maybe take the gas out of United very early on. Sadio Mane with 9 goals in the league this season. He's 2 behind Marcus Rashford and 4 behind top scorer Eden Hazard. But that isn't the story right now. The story is that Jurgen Klopp may just have found a way maybe to beat Gregg Popovich's team. We've barely played in a few minutes and already Liverpool ahead. United 0, Liverpool 1. And as we were saying, Manchester United are certainly missing the input of Timothy Mensah and Luke Shaw. All this run of conceding, Timothy Mensah was the reason they kept a clean sheet at all. They're really missing his input. He suffered an injury early in the season. Well, actually, it was the beginning of the window. It was Luke Shaw that went down early with an ACL injury. It's against Spurs. Pass. It's Martial. Going to have to cross it into Jesse Zardes. Headed down by Marcus Rashford or Pogba to find Rashford. Oh, he's put it in. Of course, Marcus Rashford has put it in. An absolute belter. 1-1. Manchester United draw level. And it's that man again, Marcus Rashford. I think it's a bit more of a number 10 today behind the 2 strikers. Or the 1 striker in Martial. It's obviously the 2 wingers as well. Great header here by, I think it was Pogba. Marcus Rashford bringing it down. Oh, what a shot. No stopping that, even from Alisson. Considered one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Marcus Rashford, though, you can't stop him. Great strike. And the Manchester United are now level, and that's the difference between Gregg Popovich and the rest of the managers that have been rather defensive in their style of play, but Gregg Popovich, not a chance. He may concede goals, but he will also score them, and that has proven the case once again. Manchester United drawn level. United 1, Liverpool 1, just after half an hour played in this game. Oh, brilliantly played by I think it was Salah. He's kept the ball in just ahead of Wilfred Jackson. Marcus Rashford. Brilliant ball. Martial cuts into the box. And here's Pogba. Oh, it's a beautiful goal. Manchester United have overturned the deficit. 2-1. And that is the power of this Manchester United side. And it's Paul Pogba again, isn't it? Absolutely thriving under Coach Pop now. There's a great cut in here by Martial. He actually fooled the defender. I think he was going one way and finds Paul Pogba with a low cross into the box. It's like Andreas Pereira's goal against Spurs at full time mostly. Paul Pogba, he strokes that in. And more pictures of unity in this Manchester United side. They haven't let their heads drop. And they have overturned the deficit. And just like that, the match has turned on a dime. Paul Pogba brings United ahead. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1. With a lot of goals today. They lost their way a bit there, but they'll take that. Well, Manchester United They looked like shell-shocked when they conceded the first goal from Sadio Mane within minutes of the kickoff, but in typical Gregg Popovich Manchester United fashion, they have overturned the deficit and now are in command of this game. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1 at the break. Game in hand, but they looked like doing it in the first seconds of the game. They took an early lead through Sadio Mane, but typically Manchester United with Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba have overturned the deficit and are now Manchester United lead as the second half gets underway. Ball for Jackson. Oh, it's a poor touch by Ball for Jackson, and it's in by Roberto or Rodrigo, I think. And oh boy, what was Ball for Jackson doing? Such a poor touch, and again this match has changed on a dime. This is so much more of a closely contested matchup than any of the previous two. Well, it's a cross here from Salah. It's well taken. Ball for Jackson. Well, he puts into the path of Rodrigo, to be honest. And Ball for Jackson, who's had a stellar season, has unfortunately had a bit of a blip there. David De Gea makes a merit of it as well, to be honest. What is going on with David De Gea? He just cannot keep a clean sheet this season. Manchester United just cannot keep clean sheets. I think it is kind of another sign that maybe one defender wasn't enough for Gregg Popovich. He needs more. Well, Rodrigo is drawn Liverpool level, and this is a very, very hotly contested matchup. This is probably contention for matchup of the season so far. Jurgen Klopp is not letting Manchester United get off the goals that easy this time around, as the next matchup for Manchester United will be against Southampton, as Jesse Zardes kind of keeps that in. Is the ball going to fall to Rashford? Yes, it is. And Rashford's going to hawk it, but it's given away. Well, you certainly feel that Liverpool are in contention here. The next matchup for them will be the reverse fixture in the Champions League, as they will take on Bayern Munich, the German champions and the conquerors of Manchester United in the American Challenge Cup during the pre-season. They've given Manchester United a bit of a game today. You can't deny that. Here comes Angel Gomez. He's kept the ball. It's Angel Gomez, and again Liverpool are there. Great play from Jurgen Klopp's team today. As the clock winds down, that is the end of the game. What a game. Definitely a more contested fixture than the first game was. You've got to admire Jurgen Klopp's play today. He literally exploited the weaknesses of this Manchester United side. He hit them early with a goal, and they just could not capitalise when they went ahead either. Liverpool smothered this team today. Didn't let them settle. Didn't let them play their game. And finally, Gregg Popovich, his play is probably showing a weakness. Maybe that's something other teams could exploit in the future. Smother them, or you'll get absolutely decimated. But Liverpool avoided that today, and it was a 2-2 draw. Well done, Jurgen Klopp. He definitely got one over Gregg Popovich today. Well, we said the Liverpool-Manchester United matchup might be a pivotal moment in the title race, and it looks to have been the case. Let's go for the scores and what that will mean for the table. So Manchester United Liverpool drawing 2-2, as we've just witnessed. West Ham grabbing a 2-1 win over newly promoted Fulham. Bournemouth suffering a loss to the surprise team of the season, or one of. There have been Wolves. Wolves now sitting in 7th place in the league. Burnley have been the other one, but today they were thumped by Spurs by 3-0, and considering the clear out of Spurs, that's a rather impressive result. Manchester City have won against fellow top 4 aspiration team Everton, but like we said, have they hit the form button a bit too late? There's still a lot of games to be played, well, 11 in total of course. Leicester City and Crystal Palace holding each other to a draw. Huddersfield beating Newcastle by 2-0. A little bit later in the week, we had Cardiff and Watford having a 1-1 draw, but Chelsea have benefited from Manchester United's dropping points today as they won 2-1 against Brighton, and as you can see, that means what it means for the table. Equal on points, but Manchester United ahead by a superior goal difference. Finally, Arsenal win again. Unai Emery's team beating Southampton by 2-0. So, what that means for the table is, as you saw, Manchester United and Chelsea now equal on points, and Mauricio Sarri could be on for his first title win in his first season as Chelsea head coach. Gregg Popovich's team are ahead on goal difference. Spurs sitting just 6 points behind, and Everton a further 2 back, with Manchester City, who have all of a sudden hit the resurgence button, a further point off the top 4. Burnley in 6th position after a great season by Burnley and Wolves in particular, in 6th and 7th respectively, as Unai Emery's team is now probably within a shout of the top 4. They're only 6 points behind Everton and going really strong. So the top 4 looks to be very tightly contested from maybe about 3rd down, with Chelsea and Manchester United having a bit of breathing room at the top. Wrong stick. West Ham United in 9th place, and Liverpool gaining a point and putting themselves into 10th place ahead of Leicester City. Then there's a bit of a gap forming. Southampton in 12th, Brighton 13th. Another impressive season by Brighton and Bournemouth in 13th and 14th respectively. Crystal Palace in 15th, Watford 16th. Huddersfield out of the relegation zone at the expense of Newcastle, Fulham and Cardiff, which has been the case for a while. Cardiff gaining a point but still rooted at the bottom, and that bottom 3, Huddersfield now with a game in hand and a 3-point lead over it. The bottom 3 has been like that for a while now. It looks like Cardiff could be the first to go down of all of them, sadly, because their season just has no sign of improving, considering their great cup runs as well.